Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mitchell. Hey, in today's video, I want to talk about don't beat yourself up for missing an opportunity with a girl. This is going to be specifically for my guys. I know you know who you are, that see a pretty girl, you want to go up and talk to her, and for some reason you don't, whether you chicken out, you get analysis paralysis, and it stops you from doing it, which would mean you chickened out, or for whatever reason you just didn't do it, which means you chickened out. Okay, I've been in this situation, and I was in that situation at the time of filming this video, and I'm going to explain that, but I want you guys to understand that it's okay to miss an opportunity with a girl or with a few girls. What I've started to learn, the more I go out and actively start approaching women I don't know, is that in certain situations it is so much easier to do it than others. Okay, so you're gonna notice that the more you start approaching women you don't know and talking to girls you don't know, conversations kind of like naturally happen, and until you start experiencing that, that might not make sense. So today at the gym, I'm going to film a video of this too. I've got the thing right here, what you focus on expands. Well, today at the gym, I was like, well, I want to know if I'm going to sit here and try to teach guys about dating and relationships and whatnot. I want to know if I'm noticing a trend that having conversations with people is a lot, like it's becoming easy and I'm not really thinking about doing it. It just kind of happens. Okay. Now, I'm trying to get to a point where, okay, well, what if I can tell myself that I'm going to go into this location and I'm going to purposely go out and talk to somebody that I don't know. I want to see if I can purposely get myself to do something, okay? So what you focus on expands. Now, in this situation, if I'm focusing on going up and approaching somebody that I don't know, I'm going to find a way to do that. I'm going to look for different cues or different signs to do that. And that's exactly what happened at the gym today. I met several different girls at the gym today. Okay, so there was this one girl. Who did I talk to at the gym today? There was Christine, Brittany. She was a girl I've been wanting to meet for a while now. So I just went up. I was just like, fuck it. And I went, put my weight away, turned around, looked at her, was just like, hey, excuse me, what's your name? So there was Christine, there was Brittany, there was Brooke, there was this one woman I see all the time. I don't really know her name. Think that might, oh, there was this guy and his wife that I just met recently. They were super cool people. And then I think that might have been it. So what was that, 5 or 6 people at the gym today? But what I'm going here is like, so I went in, so if we look at that Brittany girl, I didn't know that Brittany girl, but I've been wanting to get to know her. And what happened? I ended up approaching her and I ended up briefly talking to her. Oh, I met another girl too with like a sleeve on her arm. She's from, I think she said she's from Alabama. So I did meet 2 girls at the gym today that I didn't know. Okay, so I did set out to hit my goal. That's what I was trying to think of. Now, in this situation, what I want to go ahead and talk about in this video is, you know, when it comes, like, you don't want to beat yourself up when this happens. I'm going to get to that in a second. But I need you guys to understand that it becomes much easier to approach people and talk to people when, like, your social skills are, think of it like as a muscle. Okay, so if you go to the gym and you start talking to people you know first, you're gonna warm up that like social muscle, and approaching people you don't know is gonna be so much easier because you're gonna be in a heightened state, like the dopamine from talking to people is, you're gonna have a lot of that, so you're gonna feel much better, and it's gonna be much easier approaching people when that happens. And I have noticed that particularly, that if I go into a location saying I'm going to meet somebody and I have conversations with a few different people first, talking to people I don't know becomes much easier because I stop thinking, how do I approach her, to, yeah, fuck it, let's just do it. Now, that isn't always the case, because with this girl today, I need you guys, so Doc Love says that beautiful women are like kryptonite to men. So there's this girl at the gym that in my eyes is an absolute 10 out of 10. Holy shit, this girl I would love to meet this girl. So I was at like the turf. Okay, there was this girl next to me that was working out. I looked at her and smiled. She looked at me and smiled. So I could have went up and approached her, and I just didn't for some reason. And then this girl that I'm into, so I've seen her around the gym enough times to I feel like I would get to a point where I feel like I can approach her or not. And the way she like walks around the gyms, like in the past, I've looked at her and like you could tell like I'm looking at you, and she just refuses to make eye contact with me. So in this case, like I've tried to approach her in the past, but I didn't really get the vibe that she wanted to be approached before. So that's why I have it. But so I was here and she was like 5 feet, 6 feet away from me. Not like she had headphones in, so it wasn't like I could just look at her and take my headphones off. I wasn't close enough to do that. But she was over there and she was like warming up for a workout, like swinging her legs around, getting down, stretching. And then as soon as she stretched, she like immediately got up and like bolted to the other side of the gym. So in this situation right here, could I have approached her? Yeah, absolutely. I could have just put my weight down, rolled a couple feet over her, tried to get her attention. But where I'm going to justify me not approaching this girl, and I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm doing here. I'm justifying it. However, situational awareness also is important when it comes to meeting women. So like Mandy, when I went up and talked to Mandy today, loved talking to Mandy. I went up to her, but she was on a machine and she was in the middle of like her workout and when she was doing it. That's not a good time for me to go up and approach her. And I've done that before when she's in the middle of a set and I'll just sit there until she's done. I don't recommend you do that. But in this particular machine, that like when the legs open, that's really not a machine that I want to like just sit there and wait for you to get done. So I put a weight away, came back and she was done and I was like, Mandy. And then I was like, literally, I just came up because I wanted to bother you and say hi real fast. But going back to that girl right there, so because there was never a moment with this girl where I feel like I could have gotten her attention because she was like basically there to work out or basically she was warming up and then she got her shit and walked away. So I don't know if this girl maybe has a boyfriend or if she just doesn't want to be approached. I have no idea. And I'm never going to know until I find a time to actually go up and talk to her. And that might be when she's like actually on a machine and in the middle of a set where before I go up and do it. But in this situation right here, I was like, damn it, I really wanted to meet that girl, but something stopped me from going up and doing it. Whether that was because the situation didn't seem like it was a good time to do it or not, I don't know. But that's the point of this video is I want you guys to understand there's going to be so many different times where you're going to want to meet a girl and it's going to be in a location or at a location or at a certain time or something's going to happen where it doesn't feel like a good time to meet her. And I want you guys to know that that's okay. She's just one girl out of so many. I told you she's one girl that I want to meet, but I went up and met 2 girls out of I said Mandy, I said 6, so I think that's 7 or 8 people that I went up and talked to today. So 2 of those girls that I didn't know, that now I do know, and just because I didn't talk to this one, doesn't mean that I'm not going to get to in the future, okay? Guys, we beat ourselves up over this all the time. We're like, damn it, I wanted to go up and talk to her, but I just didn't do it. And I want you to understand that anxiety that's stopping you from approaching this girl, it's not going to get any better until you start approaching more women over time. And even when you do, okay, even when you do approach girls and you know how to do it like I do, there's always going to be times where you're like, wow, the anxiety of going up and meeting this girl it's going to be there like every single time. Every single new girl that I meet, I still get that little bit of like anxiety that's like, oh shit, what if she doesn't like me? And I'm at the point now where like, dude, I can go up to any girl and just say hi if it feels like the right time to do that. And I've done it before and I did it today. So when I went into the gym today with the goal of meeting someone new, and I'm going to keep practicing this just to see if I can actually confirm that if I focus on meeting somebody and I set my mind to meeting somebody I don't know, I'm going to see if I can continuously expand on that or to see if it works, okay? Because at Publix after the gym, I had a field day at Publix. I went up and talked to people that I didn't know. There was this one woman at Publix. I just looked at her. I said, hey, excuse me. I was like, you're really pretty, by the way. And she was like, oh, my God, thank you so much. She goes, you're really handsome. She goes, wow, that really made my day. And I was like, yeah. I was like, hey, you're welcome. I was like, I meant it. I hope that makes you feel good. And like an older woman too. And all I wanted to do was just tell her she looked pretty. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, hey, excuse me, you're really pretty. There was another girl too that worked at Publix. I was like, hey, did you decorate this all by yourself? I'm like, wow, girl. I'm like, you'd be really good at like interior designing. I was like, I feel like real estate is your calling. What are you doing here? And she wasn't very receptive to. I don't know if it's because she was I don't know if she didn't speak a lot of English, or I don't know why, but you're gonna find too that when you do talk to women, some of them might not like want to talk to you, and that's okay. But in this point then, it doesn't matter if a girl wants to talk to you, or if she doesn't want to talk to you, or if you can't find a time to go up and approach her, like, because you don't feel like ready enough. Don't beat yourself up on it, man. Don't beat yourself up on it, okay? There's always another day. There's always another girl. And like I said at the beginning of this video, you're going to naturally find that conversations with certain girls tend to happen more easy than with other women, okay? And so I always think that the conversations that just kind of like naturally happen tend to be more enjoyable than conversations that you're going out of your way to force, all right? And I'm pretty good at like having conversations with people that either I don't know or that I do know. And I can tell you the two conversations that I had with the girls today, Brittany and that the other girl that I can't remember her name, the one from Alabama. Those were kind of difficult to have because you don't really have anything to talk to them about, and so you got to ask them questions like, well, what do you enjoy doing for what's one of the favorite things, or what do you enjoy doing the most outside of the gym, or are you from Florida originally? You would just ask them questions like that to get them to open up. But I've had conversations with girls that, like I said, that I don't know, that kind of just like happens, and so that's what I want you to focus on at this point in the video is. There will be conversations that you're going to have with women that will just like naturally happen. You're going to like talk, even if you don't know them, you're going to talk to them. Okay. You're going to introduce yourself to them, and you're not going to know how or why you did it, but you're going to look back and say, I don't know, something in me just kind of like did it. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, hey, excuse me, what's your name? And then we started talking. Those conversations I have found have always been way more enjoyable than going up to somebody you don't know and being like, hey, excuse me, what's your name? And then trying to start from there, okay? Now, if you're going to meet someone that you don't know, you always want to ask them. You never want to give a girl your name. You always want to see if she asks for your name. If she doesn't, it's likely because she doesn't find you like physically appealing enough. And so in that case, then I would just end the conversation right there if you can. But in this case, so when it comes to meeting women, you can understand, man, it's a numbers game. So just because you didn't get to meet this one girl that you really wanted to, doesn't mean that there's going to be another girl that you're really going to want to meet. And you might meet her a lot easier than the girl that you let like go away. Because I know in this particular example, with this girl at the gym, I know I'm going to see her again. I see her all the time. I know I'm going to see her again. So if I really want to do it, I will find a way to do it at some point in time. So I want you guys to, again, to understand that, like, dude, don't beat yourself up for this. Okay, you didn't make a mistake by not approaching her. You're not a pussy for doing it. It's something that, let's just assume it's anxiety. If that's what stopped you, that's fine. If you have another chance to give it another go at a later date, like I do at the gym, then try it again, man. At some point in time, you're going to get in this situation and you're just going to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go and do it. That's kind of what happens. Like that Brittany girl I went up and talked to, there was so many different times where she was like next to me, like literally right next to me, laying down on the floor, like on her phone. And that's not really a good time to be like, hey, excuse me, what's your name? In this example, she was sitting on the bench in front of me. So she was sitting, and then I went and put my weight away. And then I turned around, I rolled up to her and I said, hey, excuse me, and she didn't hear me. So I took my headphones off, and then she noticed me, and I said, hey, excuse me, what's your name? And then she gave me her name, and then I was like, before I left, I said, hey, well, I just wanted to come up and introduce myself to you and just have a great workout. And she was, wait, what's your name? And I said, I'm Mitchell, by the way. So in that case, then, she got my name at the very end. But when I went to approach this Brittany girl, I wasn't really looking to see if I could like start to keep a conversation with her. I really just wanted to go up to her and just see if, okay, I want to meet someone new. I'm going to meet someone new, and I did with Brittany. My intention was just to meet someone new. It wasn't to have a conversation and then see if she's into me and I can get a phone number or not, blah, blah, blah. Especially because she told me, I asked her some questions and she said, well, she was like, well, I think she said husband. So immediately I was like, all right, well, there's no point in having a conversation here anymore. So in that case too, when it comes to talking to girls, you're gonna know, like you're gonna notice the more girls you talk to, if there's gonna be some girls that like when you talk to, the conversation is just so easy and so effortless and it's really enjoyable. And then there's gonna be conversations like with Brittany today where you kind of gotta like work for them, you gotta ask them questions. It's kind of hard to have a conversation with them. Talking to these girls where things just kind of fucking happen, dude, it's so awesome. And it's those conversations with those girls where I would typically ask for their number or a date, because if a girl is that involved with you and conversations are that enjoyable with her, there's a better chance at her wanting to go out with you than girls like Brittany, for example. So even if Brittany wasn't married, the fact that I still had to like work to get that conversation up and running, even though there, I wasn't like hitting on her or anything, but the fact that I had to work for that a little bit makes talking to these kinds of people kind of like hard. And you're going to notice the more you talk to women, you're going to be able to see that, hey, Mitchell is right. Some girls it's really easy, some girls it's really not. So in that situation then, okay, this girl that you're beating yourself up for not going up and talking to, she might be a girl that might not want anything to do with you. She might be a girl where talking to her is not enjoyable. So if you think about it that way, yeah, you're never going to know unless you talk to her. However, again, you don't know if you're even compatible or not. So it's possible that you're not wasting any time because you don't know if she's going to like you or not. But then again, at the same time, you're never really going to know unless you go up and talk to her, okay? So I hope you guys get the point of this, or the premise of this video. Like, if you miss a chance with a girl, please, it's not the end of the world, man. There's always other girls out there that are going to be just as attractive and that would love to talk to you. And you just got to keep circulating. And like I said, if you miss a chance one day, but you get another opportunity or another go with this girl at a later date, we'll try again then. See if you can find a time or a place or a situation to approach that girl then, okay? Now, if you're like out in public at like a bar or a restaurant or whatever, and you're never going to see this girl again, well, you know what? Then, all right, well, that just happens, man. That's not the end of the world. There's other girls out there. So if you are a guy that is looking to get better at dating and just handling and maintaining long-lasting relationships, my new book is finally available. I'm almost done finishing up like for y'all like to get it. So if you see a link in the description down below, go ahead and click that, and there will be a video on the next page that's going to explain how my book is going to help you when it comes to dating and relationships, and then you can judge, and then you can just judge if you want it from there or not. Also, if you see a link down below for my personal coaching with me, that means my time slots are finally available. I help people when it comes to personal development, mindset, confidence, life mastery. That can be like personal relationships or like business and careers with that. So there will be a video that will explain how working with me will improve your life. And with that being said, guys, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe so more people can see it. And I'll talk to you guys next time.